Hey there, Orlando Batista here. Day number 16 out of 102-day juice feast. And feeling a whole lot better today, a little bit more energy. Not quite ready yet to do a hardcore workout. I'm sure by tomorrow I will be. I just wanted to give myself another day to sort of rebuild. Had a couple of few days there of just real choppy days. You can't really see it, but I broke out like big blister inside my left nostril. Still there, still healing. But actually, really glad it's healing because I have to do a photo shoot here sometime over the next 24 to 48 hours for my blog, and so anyway, glad it's starting to heal up. Yeah, I haven't had much appetite even the last couple of days. Although I've been still drinking and really just been sort of struggling a little bit. As you've been reading some of my posts, you can certainly see that it's been a bit of a challenge for me. But feeling a whole lot better. Went to bed early, a couple of nights in a row, and things are certainly looking up. Feeling on top of my game again today. I was going to do a little bit of a workout, but anyway, I'll get to that tomorrow. The most important thing is to take care of myself and follow my intuition. Just wanted to take a few minutes because I've been getting this question asked often about building muscle on fruit. Can you build muscle on a high fruit, high carb, low fat diet? And it's a very simple answer. And it can also be an extensive answer depending on how deep you want to go into it. But the real sort of ground floor answer to the question is that muscle isn't necessarily built by our food intake. We get fuel and energy and building blocks for our muscle repair, muscle development. But in terms of building muscle comes purely from working out, muscle resistance, weight resistance. Any type of resistance training will build muscle. Now, depending on the type of resistance training will depend on the type of muscle mass that you end up building. And that's really purely up to you. I personally, I do a lot of high rep, low weight working out, and a lot of my higher weight bearing movement comes from my yoga practice. As a lot of you may know, I'm a yoga teacher here in Toronto, and yeah, I work with people in the yoga community, and I also work with people in the in the health community, in the nutrition community, revolving more around natural living. So anyway, back to where I was going, and actually, just so you know, if you couldn't build muscle on a high carb, low fat diet, you certainly wouldn't be able to end up. Actually, you probably can't even see there because of my tattoos. But this is all low fat, high carb, and it's all from resistance training. And I'm a bit of an anomaly, although I do know some people that are out there that are just like me. I just look at weights. I just think about working out and building muscle, and I do. So I think it's just a mind-muscle sort of connection that I have, and other people have that with other things. The ability to create wealth and to create instantaneous sort of results in their life and different things that they do. I have that ability with fitness, so I'm definitely blessed that way. But I still got to do the work, right? I still have to get up off my little butt and do the work. So there's a lot of different types of exercises that you can do to build different types of muscle mass. And then there's all the different chemicals that you can take out there, all these sort of creatines, steroids, in order to, and even those don't necessarily build muscle. What they do allow you to do is they allow you to work out harder, heavier weights, and and they help to repair muscle quicker. The problem is that when you start building or lifting massive amounts of heavy weights, you start ripping muscle tissue, and you start getting a tremendous amount of scar tissue in the muscle. And what happens with that is that it looks great now, but when you start to get older and you're not able to work out to that velocity anymore, your muscles start to sag, and you start to look all sort of loosey and flabby. If you've ever seen Arnold Schwarzenegger, and no disrespect to Arnold, but if you start to look at some of the pictures of these guys that used to be on steroids and lift a lot of these massive weights, their bodies start to sort of droop down because the muscle is no longer just sort of able to maintain its stability, and it starts to drop down. So I certainly don't want to look like that well up into my 150, 200th year. I want my muscles to be lean, ripped, and mean. So I pretty much really avoid heavy weights. I am starting to lift a little bit more heavier weights so that as I lose weight on this juice cleanse, I actually gain in muscle. That was ultimately one of my goals in doing this 102-day juice feast. So anyway, there you have it. And you got to be really careful with a lot of these other chemicals. And I've got to admit, in the past, I have actually, I'm guilty of taking creatine some time ago, and it was ridiculous. It was gross, actually, the results I had inside of my body. I ended up getting so much water retention from creatine, which is pretty much a large part of what it does, that I couldn't actually get one of my arms through the sleeve of my shirt. One of my arms, you can't really see it, but my right arm here doesn't actually develop the same way as my left, because of the fact that years ago when I used to play competitive tennis, I went to university to play tennis, etc. This arm, because it was my tennis racket arm, this arm doesn't develop quite the same. This arm is quite strong and very muscular, but it doesn't build muscle because it doesn't respond to the activity quite the same as the left, because this one is just so used to working all the time. But unfortunately, I'm having to work through some shoulder issues because this arm is always tend to be, the muscle and the nerve tend to be a little bit fired up all the time because of those years of gripping my tennis racket. Anyway, whole separate issue. But let me see, where was I? Yeah, these chemicals, creatine. It was disgusting. I blurted right out. I was like a big water bubble from taking it, and it's really what happens to everybody. You don't really end up building muscle from things like creatine. You got to do the work. Like if you're not willing to do the work, you start getting into these things like creatine and some of these stimulants that sort of help to juice up your heart rate and help you to burn off calories. And I got to tell you, if you're thinking about taking any of that stuff that has some of those bromines, I forget what they're called, but this stuff will seriously burn you out and kick start your heart fast on its way to death. There is nothing, I remember I couldn't sleep back in those days. It was really awful, nasty stuff. And so I urge you, if you're thinking about taking any of those types of fat burners or anything like that, please think again, do the research. That stuff is pretty dangerous. So anyway, there you have it. You want to build muscle, you got to work out. You got to do push-ups, you got to do pull-ups, you got to do burpees, you got to do all that sort of stuff, Superman push-ups, you name it. That'll build the muscle, and that'll build the stability that we need in order to keep a nice, solid skeletal structure. And without it, if you're too loose, it's just not a good thing. You can be too flexible. I've come to learn that since becoming a yoga practitioner and a teacher. But you can never be too strong. You can never be too strong. So anyway, that's all I got to say for now. Day number 16 again. Halfway through it and feeling pretty good. As you can see, my energy is a little bit more vibrant today, and life is a little bit nicer. Life is feeling a little bit greater. Anyway, Orlando Batista signing off. Please don't forget to leave your comments below, and make sure that you subscribe to my page. I've sort of shifted things around a little bit. It's a new page, but I assure you there won't be any more shifting. My new blog's going to be coming out pretty soon at getfrickinfit.com. You can head over there, but there's nothing there. It's just all structure, and it's not quite ready just yet. So anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for supporting me. I can't begin to tell you, there's just some great people that are following me, and I just appreciate and love you guys with all of my heart. And thanks again. So Orlando Batista signing off. Have a great day. Bye for now.